Let's say your mother gives you $6 every morning as your allowance before you leave for school. You keep this money in your wallet and happily leave for school. In school, during recess, you see a very delicious pastry. Feeling hungry, you take out $2 from your wallet and hand it to the stall keeper who sells the delicious pastry. She hands you back $1 as change, and you put it back into your wallet. You then eat the savory pastry happily. Later on, you spot a delicious slice of pizza. You hand the stall keeper $4, and the stall keeper hands you $2 as change. You put it back into your wallet and carry on to consume the tasty slice of pizza. At the end of the day, you go home and your mother asks how much money you have left. You scratch your head in doubt as you empty the contents of your wallet to determine the remaining amount of money. You then confidently exclaim that you have $2 left. Suddenly, a coin trapped in the wallet falls out. Your mother looks at you in disbelief. How could you have better kept track of the amount of money you have without having to empty the contents each time? How can you better manage your finances? You can keep track of your money by adding each time you earn or receive money and subtracting each time you spend it. So for example, when you first woke up, you started off with $0. When your mother gave you $6, you can add $6 to the amount you had before the money was given. So you now have $6. Then, when you handed $2 to the stall owner and got back $1 as change, you ended up with $5. Finally, when you handed $4 to the pizza owner and got back $2 as change, you end up with $3. So you would have had $3 in the end when you went back home. How easy was that compared to emptying the wallet each time someone asks you for the amount of money you have? But being able to do that means you must have stored the amount remaining in your wallet somewhere. In real life, you can either jot it down on a piece of paper or memorize it if your memory is good. But how do you do this in programming? You can use variables. A variable is a quantity that changes over time. You can think of variables just like the boxes you saw previously for constants. But this time, you cannot lock this value. This means that you can take out the value, change it, and put it back in as many times as you want. Now let's come back to the game you are building. Can you think of things that change as we play the game? The health of your character in the game is always changing throughout the game. The temperature of the Martian surface changes throughout the day as well. Is it a good idea to represent these changing numbers with constants? Let's try representing the health value of a robot with a constant. Let's start the game by setting the health value to 100. Now we lock this value inside the box and throw away the key. When the robot gets shot, its health value falls. Can we show this decrease if we were using constants? Definitely not. We need to constantly update the numbers as the health value changes, and if we declare the health value as a constant, we cannot change it because we can no longer open the box. Imagine if we use variables instead of constants. Now, whenever the robot gets shot, we can open up the box and change the value to represent the health changing. The value of the variable can change throughout the program and be modified by different parts of the program. The programmer can enter a value to be stored inside the variable. Afterwards, this value can then be changed by another instruction from a different part of the program. When this happens, the value is removed from the box and a new one is inserted inside. The box now has a new value. This is called modifying the value of the variable. Jack here is holding a football. James is holding a basketball. Jack doesn't feel like playing football and prefers to play basketball. Lucky for him, James doesn't feel like playing basketball and wants to play football. They try to swap their balls, but they realize that neither of them can hold both balls at the same time. John walks by and sees them having trouble with the swap. He takes the football from Jack. Now, Jack's hands are empty. James passes him his basketball. John now passes James the football. Jack and James have successfully swapped their sports balls. They realize they couldn't have done this without John's help and thank him. This is how the swap will look like in code. Instead of that method, if we directly set Jack's value to be James's value, Jack's initial value, which is football, is lost forever. because one variable can only hold one value at a time. Thereafter, setting James's value to be Jack's value will set Jack to basketball again. We have not been able to successfully swap the values. In order to successfully swap the values, we need a temporary third box, like John. We can now copy Jack's value, football, into John. James's value, which is basketball, can then be copied into Jack. Lastly, we can copy John's value, which is football, into James. We can now throw away the variable John. The values of Jack and James variables have been successfully swapped. Variables allow you to store, change, and keep track of values. Next time you are out in the world, understand the variables around you.